Our movie today begins with superheroes trying to stop the evil digger, attempting to destroy the city. We see a boy named Tony with his friends, witnessing the digger emerging from underground. Tony hides under a car and listens to Bob and his family discussing how to defeat the digger. Tony emerges from under the car, surprised to see Violet in a superhero costume. Violet tries to explain, but he runs away. Meanwhile, Bob is attempting to stop the digger, which is destroying many buildings, including the bank. The digger opens the bank vault and steals all the money using its suction device. It exits the large machine and escapes with a smaller digger. The digger-shaped machine surfaces in the city, and Bob and Helen try to stop it. Frozen arrives to help, and at that moment, Flash runs quickly to save people. Helen enters the machine to try to stop it, with Bob assisting her, and they manage to stop it. Before the machine explodes, Violet protects them with her powers, but the police arrive, surround them, and arrest everyone except Frozen, who manages to escape. The police begin interrogating Bob and Helen, blaming them for the destruction and warning them not to appear to the public or use their powers again, or they will be arrested and imprisoned forever. In the car, Violet tells her son that her classmate Tony knows she has superpowers. They get out of the car that takes them to the hotel where they live, and Bob goes to inform Rick, who is responsible for the superheroes, that a boy knows Violet's secret. Rick reassures him that he will handle the situation. He then bids them farewell and leaves. Rick goes to question Tony to ensure he hasn't told anyone else, using a device to erase his recent memories. At night, Frozen visits Helen and Bob, informing them that a very wealthy person wants to meet them, wearing their old superhero suits. They go to meet a rich man named Winston, who loves superheroes. He introduces them to his sister Evelyn, who welcomes them. Winston tells them about his parents, explaining that his father loved superheroes and communicated with them until the law prohibited them from using their powers, causing all superheroes to disappear. One day, a group of thieves broke into Winston's father's house while he was trying to contact superheroes for help. Due to the law, no one came to his rescue, and the thieves killed his father. Winston tells them he wants superheroes to return to saving people as they did before, and to achieve this, they must convince the government that they are sacrificing their lives to save people. They continue to understand how they can reappear to regain public trust in superheroes, hoping to change the law and bring back all superheroes to help people. Bob, Helen, and Frozen agree to Winston's plan, who gifts them a large, advanced house. Helen rides her bike and leaves, while Bob decides to stay home to take care of the kids. Helen goes to the city, waiting for any disasters to occur, and sees the mayor inaugurating the new metro. Suddenly, the metro moves backward at high speed, and Helen chases it on her bike to try to stop it, with a camera on her bike recording everything. Helen climbs rooftops, walks on walls, and jumps over the metro as it enters the tunnel. Her bike explodes, but she manages to detach the metro from the car pulling it, transforming into a parachute to stop the metro and save all passengers. When Helen investigates the cause, she finds someone controlling the metro car through screens. Meanwhile, Bob tries to put baby Jack to sleep, but he falls asleep instead. When Jack sees an animal eating from the trash, he exits the window and hits it, transforming into a flaming child, burning everything in front of him. He hits the animal, shoots lasers from his eyes, and starts chasing it. When Bob wakes up, he stops Jack, but Jack transforms into a giant monster, hits the animal, which gets scared and runs away. Bob is shocked to see his son Jack sneezing, turning into fire and shooting lasers. The next morning, Violet goes to Tony to talk to him and tries to explain what happened. But Tony doesn't remember anything, not even Violet's name, which upsets her greatly. When Violet returns home and tells her father what happened, he says Rick must have erased his memories, making Violet angry as she tries to tear her suit apart. We return to Helen, who is with Winston, preparing for a TV interview. Before meeting the host, she sees the ambassador, who thanks her for saving people. The program begins, and the host welcomes Helen, introducing her to the audience. Suddenly, the host starts acting strangely, as someone is hypnotizing and controlling him. The person also controls everyone on the program, telling Helen he will kill the ambassador. Helen runs and jumps out the window, trying to reach the ambassador's location. She enters the plane, destroys all screens controlling the pilots, and rescues the host and ambassador before the plane explodes at the last moment. The news spreads everywhere, and people begin to love and support Helen. Helen visits Winston, who congratulates her, as their plan is nearly successful, with many people calling for the return of superheroes to protect the world again. However, Helen feels uneasy because she didn't catch the person controlling people through hypnosis. Winston surprises her by showing her the superheroes he gathered to reintroduce them to the public. Among them is Karen, who can transport anything through portals, and Helen meets the rest of the superheroes, each with unique powers. Helen talks to Evelyn, and they agree on how to capture the person hypnotizing people. Helen asks Evelyn to create a tracking device for the signals controlling people. Helen talks to the TV host, provoking the person hypnotizing people to reveal themselves. The person appears on every screen, advising people to rely on themselves and not wait for a superhero to save them. At that time, Helen uses the device Evelyn made for her, locating the live broadcast site. She goes to the address and explores the place, seeing many drawings of the Metro control plan and the ambassador's plane control. Suddenly, the person sets a trap for her, locking her in a box and trying to hypnotize her. Helen attacks him, escapes the box, chases him, jumps off the building, and transforms into a parachute to save him. When Helen removes the mask, she discovers he's an ordinary person. The police arrive and arrest him, unaware of what he did. We then go to Bob, who looks very tired because he hasn't slept for a long time. He's upset when he learns from the TV that his supercar was sent to a wealthy person, thinking it was destroyed. He takes the remote control and activates it. Flash is amazed by it, takes the remote to play with it, but Bob takes it back, telling Flash they can't take the car as it's no longer theirs. Bob decides to take Jack to Edna, asking her to make a suit for Jack to control his superpowers. She initially refuses until she sees Jack's ability to change shape and fly, impressed by him. She asks Bob to leave Jack with her, go to sleep, and return tomorrow to pick him up with the suit. Meanwhile, Winston and all the superheroes celebrate Helen for capturing the person controlling people. Winston tells the superheroes he will meet world leaders on his ship to sign a contract for the superheroes' return to help people. All the superheroes are happy, except Helen, who feels uneasy. She leaves the party, reviews the video of capturing the hypnotist, and Evelyn helps her search. Helen is puzzled when she remembers the person knew she'd arrive at that time, realizing the captured person was just a delivery worker controlled by someone else. Suddenly, зрение, Эвелин надевает очки на Хелен, контролируя ее. The next day, Bob thanks Edna for taking care of Jack. Edna tests the suit she made for Jack, telling Bob it suits his superpowers, giving him a device to control the suit and alert them before Jack uses his powers. We return to Helen, who wakes up tied to a chair. Evelyn tells her not to use her powers as the temperature is below zero, which could break her. Evelyn reveals she's the one controlling people through screens, unbeknownst to her brother Winston. When Helen asks why she's doing this, Evelyn explains she wants people to hate superheroes, relying on themselves without waiting for someone to save them, as her father did. If he had hidden or fled, he wouldn't have been killed by the thieves. Evelyn uses her to make the world hate superheroes, controlling her again with the glasses. Meanwhile, Bob and his kids train Jack to use his laser power. Suddenly, Jack disappears, and they use Edna's device to locate him. The phone rings, and Evelyn calls Bob, asking for help as Helen is in danger. Bob quickly leaves, talks to Frozen, asking him to look after the kids as he goes to help Helen. Bob leaves, leaving Jack with Violet, who gives Flash his suit to follow Bob. When Flash opens the door, he's surprised to see the superheroes wearing glasses controlled by Evelyn. Before attacking them, Frozen arrives, attacking them with his ice. Flash uses the remote to bring the supercar, but the superheroes use their powers to attack from all sides. Violet creates an energy field to protect her siblings Flash and Jack. When Frozen tries to help, one of the superheroes grabs him. Suddenly, the supercar arrives, rescuing them. Frozen breaks free, hitting the superheroes, ordering Flash and Violet to take Jack and get in the car, which follows Flash and Violet's voice commands. Before Frozen can join them, the superheroes grab him, putting glasses on him, controlling him. The kids escape the house in the car, managing to evade the superheroes. We go to Bob, who reaches Evelyn, who tells him Helen has been acting strangely lately. When Bob goes to see Helen, she attacks him, puts glasses on him, and controls him. Meanwhile, Flash, Violet, and Jack decide to rescue their parents, believing they're in danger. They ask the supercar to take them to the ship where the conference will be held, but the ship has already moved. Flash wishes the car could take them to the ship. The car transforms into a boat, chasing the ship and reaching it, bringing them to the ship's deck, where they hide before anyone sees them. We go to Winston, welcoming the superheroes and world leaders on his ship. Violet asks Flash to take care of Jack and disappears, searching for her parents. She accidentally bumps into a vase, alerting Karen, who starts chasing her, using her powers to open doors, blocking Violet's escape. Violet disappears, attacks using her powers, and defeats her. Returning to Flash, she's upset to find Jack has escaped him. They use the device to locate him. Winston introduces Bob, Helen, and Frozen to the audience. Unaware, Evelyn controls them. When Winston asks Evelyn about the glasses worn by the superheroes, she tells him they're the new masks. Winston appears on all TVs, announcing they've agreed with world leaders for superheroes to return to help people. Suddenly, the hypnosis screen appears, and Evelyn controls everyone, using Bob, Frozen, and Helen to make people hate superheroes, mocking others, telling them they won't help, advising them to rely on themselves or face death. We return to Flash and Violet, who reach Jack, who is burning, extinguishing him with the suit. Suddenly, the superheroes controlled by Evelyn hear them, starting to search for them. Flash, Violet, and Jack hide in the ventilation shaft, but the superheroes locate and surround them. Jack grows very large, falls on them, runs, destroying walls, with Flash and Violet following him to escape the superheroes. Evelyn controls Bob, Helen, and Frozen, making them attack the ship's captain, taking control to direct it toward the city to destroy it. Bob, Helen, and Jack reach their parents and Frozen, who fiercely attack them. Violet protects herself and her siblings with an energy field until Jack exits, flying toward his mother, removing the glasses controlling her. Helen returns to normal, attacks Frozen, removing his glasses, and Bob returns to normal. She takes her suit from Violet to stop Evelyn, who ordered the superheroes to attack them. The superheroes arrive, attacking Bob and his family, trying to kill them. A fierce battle ensues between them all. Helen removes the glasses controlling Karen, returning her to normal, aided by Jack, who transforms into a monster, removing the glasses controlling Lightning Man. Bob and Helen hit the giant man, removing his glasses. Meanwhile, Evelyn takes Winston, boarding a plane to escape the ship before it reaches the city and explodes. Winston refuses to abandon the superheroes, jumping from the plane onto the ship. Helen asks Karen to use her power to transport her to the plane to prevent Evelyn from escaping. Karen opens a portal, allowing Helen to enter the plane. Karen uses a rescue flare gun, managing to hit Evelyn, ejecting her from the plane. Helen jumps after her to save her. Frozen uses all his power to change the ship's direction, with much ice, stopping it before harming people. The city's residents thank the superheroes for saving their lives. The police arrest Evelyn for her actions, and the law approves the superheroes' return to help people. Violet meets her friend Tony, who admires her, spending a wonderful time together. Finally, the family reunites, and the superheroes return once again